Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for our Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're going to head back to the Chatham Main Line, but today we're going to take the Medway Valley Line, the second of three routes that utilize the Chatham Main Line. Of course, Victoria to Blackfriars to Dover and Ramsgate is the third one, which we're going to get to later on. But the 375 is not using the immediate scenarios there, so we'll come to that one later. Today, however, we are going to look at the first of the two 375 scenarios that runs on the Medway Valley Line, is what I'm trying to say. You can see one is a 3757, the other is a 3753. Both are, of course, dark blue, as in the ones that were from the previous route down here. They're the basic 375, so we have actually some type designations now, which means that we know what our train number is going to somewhat be on these to some extent, or at least what range they will be in. You can see the 465 also shows up on scenarios here. And we also have a new train, the Class 59, which might show up in some of the scenarios here as well. Not to mention these three, of course, but they may show up as AI in these four scenarios as well. So we're going to see the Class 59 here. The 377 also is included with this DLC. However, it's not featured in the scenarios, so I think it's only used as AI in the scenarios. However, there is one included that you can drive as in custom scenarios on this route, should you wish, without requiring any additional DLC. Or if you want, you can just use that one on the London to Brighton route instead of the one that comes with that. Or you can have this one installed and use it for the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancements, which utilize this version of the 377. So there you go. This is so useful for the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancements, even if you don't want these trains themselves. 375 is also updated from this pack as well. So this is required for the Armstrong Powerhouse pack, the Chatham Main Line, that is. And I think you need to have the Medway Valley Line version of the 377 to do that. I may be somewhat off on that. Someone can correct me if I am wrong. But that's my understanding anyway, that this is required for that pack. So if you're looking at the Armstrong Powerhouse packs, there you go. In the meantime, though, we are going to look at the first 375 Type 7 scenario, or I should say the 375 Type 7 scenario. And we're going to also get our introduction to the Medway Valley Line at the same time. Welcome to the Medway Valley Line. First off, we'll be in charge of a passenger service from Tonbridge to Strood, the controls of a Class 375 covering the full-length northbound run of the route. It should be noted that the Tonbridge to Paddock Wood section is on the southeastern main line before we actually go on to the Medway Valley Line proper. Let's get started. Good morning, driver. Welcome to the Medway Valley Line. You are now at the controls of this Class 375, and you will be in charge of a passenger service from Tonbridge to Strood, making several stops on the way. Please allow passenger support here before departing. Okay, we're going to get the doors open first, since we've been told to do that, so that is now done. You can see the CCTVs came on the screens there. And we're going to bring everything up, and we're going to put the AWS self-test through its paces. Let's just check how far we're going to be going today. Oh, we have a lot of stops. We're stopping at a lot of places today. We're going all the way to Strood, which is, according to my information, if I go out to this... Nope, not that view. If I go out to this view, 26.5 miles away. By the way, I don't have a good view of the train. Here we go. Somebody's coming through on the other line here. Which line? There it is. We found him. Somebody coming through over there. So we're going to hide that. We're going to take a look at this train coming through over here. I believe this is another 375 coming in for a stop here next to this lovely lady who is patiently waiting for this train to arrive. There you go. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and take another look at our train, which is this one. Hello, that's a different train coming in. I think that's a different 375, actually. That's the white 375. This, of course, is our train, which is the one we want to see today. That's the one we're driving. So we're going to get back in the cab, now that we've got our potential thumbnail candidate here, and off we go. We are leaving. There we go. We are leaving Tonbridge. Our first stop will be Paddock Wood. You can see that our arrival time is scheduled for 9:10. We are leaving at a speed limit of 25 miles per hour. Of course, I want to thank you for joining me for part of your weekend on this wonderful, wonderful route. I've actually found that I've enjoyed the Chatham Main Line, the part that I've already played so far. It really is an excellent route, probably one of DTG's better routes. But I'm not surprised by that because Chatham is where they're located. So um, you would expect that that line would be a line that they would have some intimate knowledge of because some of them probably take the train there every day and they probably see that route every day. So you would expect this to be a better route, and I think it is one of their better routes. I actually do, from what I've seen so far. So you've been released to a 90-mile-per-hour speed limit. I ignored the 40 because there was another 25 junction. So we're taking off along the southeastern main line at this time. There's a 100-mile-per-hour speed limit coming up here. Some little things marked as tunnels here. I'm not exactly sure what these actually are, if they are actually considered tunnels, but they're shown on the map as if they are tunnels. I don't have any immediate data for any of them, though, so I can't tell you if they're anything more than a bridge. There's another Class 375 going by. We have a whistleblower coming up. Let's get ready to toot. There's the crossing. So we are going super fast now. We're at 88 miles per hour. Not southeastern high-speed fast, but still fast. We have a horn about 1.7 miles away, and zero point 0.7 miles after that we're going to have a station. So that's going to be our first stop at Paddock Wood. The fact this is estimated to take 55 minutes with all these stops tells me this route does not take that much time to travel, apparently. On my best guess, but nonetheless, we're going to take our time anyway because we have to make all these stops. So we have to make sure we do them on time, though, as well. We can't just rest. We have to do everything in the appropriate timing. So I've taken my speed down to 82 for now. I'm continuing down from there as I approach Paddock Wood. There is another horn. At the horn signal, I will fully hit the brakes. Actually, no, I need to do it. No, I need to do it earlier because there's a 40 coming up. So I'm going to do it now, just a little bit. Okay, down to 70. Let's get ready for the horn here. Maybe I don't need that second tone. That seems silly. Okay, we're going to bring our speed down to the 40 now, because we need to. You can see after we make our stop and get through the junction onto our actual route that we're going to move to a 50 mile per hour speed limit. But for now we have to worry about the 40 that's coming up. The timings already look like they're going to be a little bit tight on this scenario, which is not very good in my eyes. Either I didn't leave at the appropriate timing or come up to speed quickly enough, which I don't know if I could have done much better, to be honest. So, either I didn't do that, or something went wrong with the timing. Sometimes something does go wrong with the times. Anyway, we'll do a heavy full-service brake here to bring this train to a stop quickly. Now that we're in the station, we're getting our greens now because we're on the line we should be on. And doors are open at Paddock Wood, platform number 2. Leaving Paddock Wood, our next stop is Beltring. And our speed limit in the platform is 40 miles per hour, but we're going to be taking the junction at 25 miles per hour, so we're going to keep our speed slightly under that. As we leave the Southeastern Main Line, we are now on the Medway Valley Line, which terminates at Paddock Wood. We have horns. Steady my speed. Well, I can actually go up to 35 now, so I'll work on that. So the second one was a 35. I didn't read that correctly. I'm not going to do the second tone. That is horrible. That second tone is horrible. And as the siding comes to an end, we've crossed the crossing. We're now fully engaged on the on the line that we want to be on. So here we go. So we're due in Beltring at 9:15. It's right there, so we're going to be early for this one. You can see we have a level crossing right before the station. We have a whole bunch coming after the station. On the trip back, I'll see if I can get you some information on what the various level crossings are, because it looks like I have a lot of information to go with here. For right now, we're just going to cross them. Do that again, just to make sure it counted. Now, I didn't need to come in this fast because I do have lots of time on this. I'm going to have to sit and wait anyway. So I'm actually trying to get to the end of the platform, which I don't think is going to be an issue. That was actually the stop marker right there. I could stop right there, and I'm stopping now. So arrival at Beltring, platform number 2. Leaving Beltring, our next stop is Yalding. We have to be there in about 2.5 minutes or so. Leaving at a 50 mile per hour speed limit, entering immediately a 70 mile per hour speed limit. We got lots of crossings coming up, so we're going to be getting horny. There's our horn for crossing number 1. This is the River Medway, or as we would call it in North America, the Medway River. Lots and lots of crossings here, my goodness. Oops, I didn't mean to blow my horn there. So many, I'm blowing my horn where I don't need to. Brought down at about the right moment there. We still have time to make our stop. We have a green signal here, so we are safe to proceed, but we need to make our stop. I did not mean to hit the brakes right there. A little too early. Though now I think about it in hindsight, that was probably a good spot to hit the brakes. You use every second here. Also test these times a little bit. Alright. Arrival at Yalding, platform number 2. Leaving Yalding, our next stop is Wateringbury. Leaving at a speed limit of 30 miles per hour, but we're going to quickly find ourselves in a 55 mile per hour speed limit as we have another horn to blow right away as we leave. There's a crossing associated with that, I believe. Now, the first of those crossings, it seems, was associated with the horn before the station, which is very interesting. So here comes Wateringbury. So far, there's not really anything historical that closed along the way, but after this station, there will be a station that has disappeared from the map. I'll see if I get some details as we go. We're 7/10 of a mile from the station. We're holding our speed as much as we can because there's no change in speed limit. So we're going to try to hold until we need to slow down. Our stop time is 9:22, so we should be good on time anyway. But if we go down too slow too early, we will lose the advantage that we have here. So we want to maintain as much speed as we can for now. So I am putting a step 2 brake on because I should be able to bring it down to 30 now. I almost missed the whistle board there. So I'm down to 38. That'll do for now, so I can maintain enough speed. So I've made it down into the 30s. I'm just doing a step 1 brake now as I enter the platform, and I'm going to bring that up to a step 2 as I fully get into the platform. Actually, full service for now. This is a very small platform. Now I'll bring it back to a step 1. stop marker is right there, so I could have actually gone to the end of the platform, but this will do. Arrival at Wateringbury, platform number 2. Leaving Wateringbury, our next stop is East Farleigh. Interestingly, I don't know if there was a platform 1 back here or not. Either if there was, I missed it, and it's not. It must be staggered. But I wonder if platform 1 is closed at that station. That's interesting. Either way, we can proceed. So along the way here, we are going to be passing the Teston Crossing halt, which is no longer open. It's closed. So we're not going to be stopping there. Not much of a halt, if you get my drift. I'm not sure exactly where that halt would have been, but it was somewhere before East Farleigh. Apparently I'm not getting enough speed here, so we need to hurry along here. These two whistle boards are very, very close in proximity to each other. So we have a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit coming up. I just realized that I may have been muted for a moment there, so I pushed the unmute button just in case. If that's the case, we have left Wateringbury. We're on our way to East Farleigh. We are crossing the, I believe it was the Teston Valley halt. Or Teston Crossing halt. So one of those crossings was Teston Crossing. And that would have been where a halt was located. It's not there today. We don't stop there anymore. Now we're not due until 9:27, which means we have the time. So I don't mind the fact that I'm a little bit under 55. We should be able to go a little under the speed limit anyway. But we have a 40 limit coming up, so that's the other reason I don't mind being a little lower right now. Mind you, we should be down 240 well before the station anyway. We're only about 0.2 of a mile away from the station at that point. We are being warned about the 40 speed limit coming up. You just saw that board go by. So I've gone ahead and applied a little bit of a brake application to get down to 45. I'm going to hold there for a moment because I'm doing okay. Half a mile from the station, plenty of time. We got down to the 40 in time. Coincidentally enough, this 40 is the point where we need to start worrying about our full brake application. So we're going to start doing that now. Let's actually pay attention for our stop board this time around. Well, there it is. Right at the end of the platform. And we'll stop at it, and there we are. Arrival at East Farleigh, platform number 2. Leaving East Farleigh, our next stop is Maidstone West. Those of you who might have been observant might have noticed I forgot to do something at the start of this scenario when I was setting up the train. My headlights weren't on. They're on now. They were on. They're there. So 70 miles per hour is now our speed limit. We're going to be passing the site of another closed station here. The station of Toville is a closed station. We're also going to be passing a line that went to the Toville Goods Yard, and another one that went to Loch Meadow. That is all leading up to our stop at Maidstone West. Everything is in such close proximity, I don't know exactly where everything is here. Nor do I have time to really look right now. Now those lines to the goods yard and Loch Meadow, by the way, are lifted. They're no longer there, so I don't expect to see them in this DLC. We're being warned of our 30, so I'm going to start slowing down now that we have been warned sufficiently. We have a whistle board to toot for here. We have another 375 passing by. There's a warning for the 15, so we have a massive, massive drop in our speed for Maidstone West. I presume this is for a junction. We have a yellow signal, by the way. So right now we're expecting that there is a red at the end of the Maidstone West platform. Coming down a little too quickly, so I'm going to maintain 26 for now. Our stop time is 9:32, so despite the low speed, we have plenty of time. There's our warning for the 15. The 15 is actually for the junction, which it looks like we are taking because the 15 is marked on our HUD. So it looks like we are taking that junction. So I'm down to 15. This will scoot us over to platform number 1. We can see another line coming in here, which I'll try to get some information on for you if I can here. It looks like it's just some other line that junctions in. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look like to be a line of any importance. I have lots of time, so I'm just going to go ahead and crawl in here. So I'm looking for the stop marker, which is right up there. That'll do. Arrival at Maidstone West, platform number 1. Leaving Maidstone West, our next stop is very, very close to us. You might have noticed I also had a red signal. For some reason, the signal went red on me. I've already requested approval to pass, so we are good to go ahead here. And we leave at a 15 mile per hour speed limit heading to Maidstone Barracks, a mere third of a mile down the line from our previous stop. We can now move up to 30 miles per hour. Given this is such a close stop, and I only have a minute to work with, I want to try and get up to full speed and come to a full break. So I'm going to try to do some activity I would not normally do in this fashion. So we're going to continue at about 28.5 right now. You can see I am running a perfect score so far here. 504 is my score. I did not mean a step 2 there. Step 1 is sufficient. I'm coming in way too slowly now, so I'm going to actually put a little speed back on to get in quicker. I need to come to a stop now. The signal at the end of the platform is green. We should be able to proceed without any further issue here as we make our stop at Maidstone Barracks, Platform 1. Leaving Maidstone Barracks, our next stop is Aylesford, and I believe this puts us on the in the area of the Chatham Main Line, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is the Chatham Main Line area we're crossing, because I know Aylesford appears in that area, in that route somewhere. So may not be this exact station layout that we're going to, but it is on that route somewhere. As we get up to our 70-mile-per-hour speed limit, I'll show some other stops we have here. We're going to be going to New Hythe, Snodland, and Yalding as our next 3 stops. On the way to Aylesford, we're going to be crossing the M20, or it might be crossing us one way or the other. In fact, I believe that second marked tunnel area might be the M20. The first one might be actually, it could be the first one too. I'm not sure which one it is. You can see there's a gap in the track up ahead, which does not make any sense. Why would that be? We've seen this on the South Wales coastal route as well, heading towards Bristol Parkway. So I'm not sure why there are gaps in the track there. It makes no sense. We are being warned of the 40-mile-per-hour speed limit a little early, I think. We have a little less than 2.5 minutes to get to our stop, but it's within our HUD, so we should be able to see it. Or get to it, rather. And based on what I'm seeing here, yeah, that's the M20. Right there, it does cross us. So that's the M20. 40 is our speed limit coming up. We're going to get our speed down for that. We're going to also see what this gap in the track is concerning. We might actually be missing a track texture here. Oh, it seems to have fixed itself. And there's another one here as well. Nope, track is fine. So sometimes the HUD does some really weird things. This is one of those weird things. There's just track missing on the HUD. But when that happens, it's perfectly fine. You can still drive along the track. I came down a little too early for the 40-mile-per-hour speed restriction, but I'm down there now, so I'm going to stay there. And I'm going to correct myself on something I said earlier. I said Aylesford was on the Chatham Main Line. I'm thinking Aylesbury. So that's a mistake on my part. That is a different station. This has nothing to do with the Chatham Main Line. So my apologies on that. I will correct that now before we even get there. We have about a half minute to make our stops. This is getting a little close. Slowing down early is starting to affect my timing of it, so I'm coming in faster than I really want to. going to go ahead and put a step 2 brake on now very briefly and off to a step 1. You can see new Hythe already coming up on the HUD. Now we zoomed in a bit so it's not there anymore. And I'm coming in way too fast. I need to stop now. Good enough. Arrival at Aylesford, platform number 1. Leaving Aylesford. That was a Class 59 going by. I believe DB Schenker 59 Type 2 is the one that comes with the route. We're now on our way to New Hythe at a 40 mile per hour speed limit. We are going to be increased to 60 up ahead. And we have green signals. Notice I came back a little early to get you a shot of that 59. I wasn't able to do it from within the cab, unfortunately. Or I had to do it from within the cab, rather, because I wouldn't be able to get you the shot sitting at the station. So, there you go. You got to see the Class 59. I knew it was going to show up at some point in one of these scenarios before we had to drive it, and there it was. There might have been one earlier that I'm forgetting about, too. Anyway, 60 miles per hour is now our speed limit. We're probably not going to get to that. We have to stop in the next 55 seconds at New Hythe, which we are in range of for that kind of a stop, if barely. So I'm trying to get to the end of the platform, which is where the station stop marker usually is located. Indeed, there it is. There's also a 3 marker there. So not just the station marker, but the 3 marker. All trains must stop at that marker. And we are slightly off on our timing now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this stop made, and we're done. So arrival at New Hythe, platform number 1. Leaving New Hythe, our next stop is Snodland. We are still running a perfect score, 72 points per stop. We have 720. And we have 2 level crossings in close range of each other as we leave at 60 miles per hour for Snodland. .70 is going to be our speed going into Snodland. So you saw that split speed limit sign. It looks like freight trains would get a 45 through this area. So the 70, of course, refers to us, because we're permitted to go fast. So I'm at 60. I think I'm going to stay at 60. I've got a full minute to make my stop here. I'm definitely within the range that I should be able to make my stop. Lots of bridge crossings or tunnel sections up ahead here. Of course, the route looks at them as tunnel sections. I'm going to have to maintain this step 2 brake all the way. In fact, I'm going to put a full service brake on. Now back to a step 1 for a moment. Step 2, step 1. That'll do. Just in time arrival at Snodland, platform number 1. Leaving Snodland, our next stop is Hythe. We're going to be passing over what used to be a 2-foot line to River Medway. I think it's still there, actually. That line might still be there. And there's a former connection to a cement works coming up. That cement works is no longer connected to the track. I don't know if the cement works is still actually there, but there are lines for the cement works that are definitely removed. I have a feeling that's what these little tunnel sections on the map are referencing. Probably all these old cement works lines. There is another cement works that's located after Yalding. We will probably see a track heading off towards that. And I have a feeling that will be used in a 59 scenario for a freight shipment. Just a hunch. Or it might just stay on the actual sidings. So I got up to 65 miles per hour. Our speed limit is 70. We have a minute to reach our stop at Yalding. We are within range. I'm going to slow it down now. I'm going to stay in the 45 area here for now. So I have moved up to a step 2 brake once again as we are entering the station platform. In fact, I need a full service. I'm going to back it up to a step 2 again. I'm going to take the brakes off for just a moment as we get to the end of the platform. That will do. Arrival at Yalding, platform number 1. Leaving Yalding, our next stop is Cuxton. So we should be seeing a line off to the right going into a cement works at some point here. I'm just taking a peek out the window to see if I can confirm this. Cuxton is only about 1.75 miles away from us, so there should be a track going off at some point here to this cement works. There it is. And you can see the closed gate, so it is a disused section. The gate is closed, but it does go off to the cement works as advertised. We continue in our path here. They need some weed killer on that track, may I tell you. $70 once again is our limit. 61 is what we're at right now, and that's good enough for our purpose. We will be at our stop within the 1.5 minutes that we have designated. So I'm going to stay at this 60 speed for a little bit. Okay, fine, 59.9, whatever. So I'm letting the speed start to slow down gradually here. Cuxton is our penultimate stop on this journey. After this, we will make our way to our final stop, which should be at Strood. And I did not hit the brakes early enough, so I'm putting a full service brake on now. A little bit of a panic setting in there, but we are going to get our speed down in time because there is lots of space still at a full service brake to do that. And I'm now going to use a step 2 brake to bring the speed down. I need that full service brake again. I am going to overshoot this. I did not realize Cuxton was such a small platform. Slight overshoot here. We are going to take that as the doors will still open at Cuxton. Leaving Cuxton, our final stop is Strood in about 2.4 miles from Cuxton. Our stop time is scheduled for 9:56, so we have 3.5 minutes to get there. That tells me we're going to probably have lower speed limits along this part of the journey, but let's find out if that is the case by traveling there. The Chatham Main Line will be crossing us between Swanley and London Victoria. Another part of the Chatham Main Line will be crossing us to Rochester Bridge Junction, which we've already seen in the previous scenario. Gonna bring our speed down a little earlier here. So I'll give you a quick look at the map where we are after I hit that. On our map, we're down in this area right here. We're still approaching all these crossings right before Strood. It's very, very close to Strood. So we're going to see them just as we're getting ready to make our stop. I've halted my slowdown for a moment here. Though there is a 15 up ahead, the 35 is still a ways away. The 15 is very close to the 35, though, so I want to be under 35 by the time I reach that speed sign, I believe. And I will be going down probably to about 30 by that speed sign, is my estimate. There's the one of the Chatham Main Line routes. No, that wasn't it. That was a water feature. My bad. So now we're getting a yellow signal in addition to being warned of the speed earlier. So there's our yellow taking us into the next lane over. That's what the 15 is for. If we were not getting that signal, we'd be proceeding at 35 miles per hour into the other platform at Strood. But because we're being junctioned over as a terminus, we're being put on a 15 line. Ding dong. Good morning, passengers. We are about to approach Strood, where this service will terminate. I'm going to advise you to get the hell off my train because I have to, have my morning constitutional. Thank you. Pulling in the Strood. We don't necessarily need to go all the way to the end of the platform because we are only a 3-car train. But I will go ahead and stop right about here. This will do. There is probably a red signal at the end of the platform that I really don't care about. But we'll get our stop in because we are fully in the station platform at this time. An arrival at Strood. Just out of my own curiosity, I'm going to go ahead and run ahead to see, and indeed there is a red signal at the end of the platform. Somebody is getting a green over here, but that's the end of the route for us. Let's look at our train. Somebody's about to go by in the lane next to us, I think. Oh well, that's the end of the scenario. People are about to approach the train. They expect us to move a little further up, but they're going to have to deal with that. So we do have another trip on the Medway Valley Line planned going in the other direction. I'm going to see if I can get you some information on the various level crossings from the Railway Data Center before I do that run. I want to give you the proper names of all the crossings and landmarks along the way. I'll see what we can do about that. In the meantime, nicely done, scenario complete. Let's go ahead and get our score on the main scoring screen. So as you can see, we got the achievement Northbound Master. So we need to get 850 points on this scenario. That was a pretty easy scenario to get 850 points on. As you can see, I've tied someone on my friend list here, getting that 1,000-point top score. And I thought I saw someone with a lower score, but I'm not sure. That might be a different scenario I was looking at. In any case, nothing to report here. Everything is on time. Everything is perfectly fine here. So that's what a perfect run on this route looks like. If you feel you can do that, go ahead and try it, and I'm sure you're going to get it too, because it's not hard at all. About to hit level 51 on my scoring, which I don't really care about again, but I just keep looking at that once in a while, wondering how high this is going to go as I keep doing these career scenarios. Only the scenarios made by DTG count. You can't fudge it by putting your own scenarios in and scoring off of them. Only official scenarios count, so I'm not sure how high this goes. But nonetheless, we are continuing right now from this. Next time, we're going to do the second scenario, this time going from Strood to Tonbridge, the return trip, next time, or whatever that is. I believe that's what it is, though. So I will see you next time for that. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Cyclone. Hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. I will see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Bye-bye.